Rights, they come from God.
With AMAC and Real America's Voice. Go ahead, scan the QR code now.
We know everyone across this globe is insane for Ukraine, including members of the European Union over at the United Nations. Roll it.
Of course, it's important that the attention on the Middle East does not take away the attention from Ukraine, that the attention does not fizzle out there. We see the easing of sanctions on oil on Russia by
Doesn't want Iran to take the focus off Ukraine because they're insane for Ukraine. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Stinchfield's Army rolls because of all of you. We'll see you back here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Studio 6B and the guys up next.
America, it's time to make some noise. Scan the QR code right now and download the new song, God, Grit, and Guns by the Truth Bombers. Or search for it on iTunes and download it today. In a world filled with chaos and uncertainty, this song is a reminder of something stronger, America's grit, faith, and fortitude. From the label that brought you The Boss, Anthem of the Free, and Somali Waltz, comes the next anthem, God, Grit, and Guns by the Truth Bombers. Scan the QR code and download it now.
It's God, grit, and guns. God, grit, and guns. God, grit, and guns.
To our enemies, FAFO.
God, grit, and guns.
If your TV sounds funny in the evening, you're watching live from Studio 6B on Real America's Voice.
All right, it is live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice, on a Monday, March 16th, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Glad you're in, everybody, wherever you're watching, listening. We appreciate it. Glad you're in on a Monday, brand new week, halfway through the month of March. Lots to do on a busy night. Slick Rick sitting right there. He's going to do some sports. A night after Selection Sunday. The brackets are set. We'll get into that as well. Slickster, how are you?
I'm doing good. Little rain action right now here in New York.
Holy rain,
I got wet, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is crazy rain in New York right now. It's not raining. It's deluging. It's
Right.
crazy.
I forgot to get the umbrella out.
Sheets of water just coming down as you drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't. I mean, it was. I played Harry the video I took because it was so loud hitting the car window. He couldn't believe it. I said, "You wouldn't believe how hard it's raining."
I know. I came walking in.
crazy.
Harry's like, "Is it still raining outside?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's coming down." He's like, "Oh, I'm going to go back in my office." And he ran back into his office thinking it's going to stay dry there.
I'm gonna go hide. Yeah, he doesn't want to drive. So, how was your weekend, Slick?
Great weekend. I want to shout out to my 32-year-old African gray parrot who turned 32 today, Kramer. I picked him up. I was 29 years old when I picked him up. I'm going to be 62 this year. Gives you an
Damn.
idea. To have a pet that many years, he's like a son to me. So that was really cool. So happy birthday, Kramer. And we had a good weekend. We celebrated his birthday. We had the cannoli cream cheesecake out of this world from Banker's Bakery. And had a good time. Good weekend, Big D. Oh, I had a 5K that I ran. Not that I ran. I ran. I didn't run it.
Did you run?
I'm the Grand Marshal. I give out the trophies, baby.
So you like ride on the float?
Yeah. I ride on the flight. Actually, I do it all. I do the whole market set go, and then we went to a nice fundraiser for our great friend Doug Smith.
You just like.
Yeah, I do the. Yeah,
You
that's
did the
right.
gun?
Yep, I do the
You
national
didn't hit
anthem.
anybody, did you?
Never.
Okay.
I got that down.
Did you run?
I don't
through
drink
the,
until afterwards.
Did you run through the tape at the end?
No,
Just
I don't.
For fun?
No. That kid came in a good time though. A little over 17 minutes. That's pretty good for a 5K.
Okay, very good. I don't think we've ever said happy birthday and shouted out a bird here on the show, so that's a new one, but I like that. That's good.
Wow, 32 years to have a pet is just remarkable, you know?
Don't you wish they'd all last that long?
I wish they did.
Yeah,
I really do.
longer than my last relationship.
Well, 32 days.
A cup of coffee lasts longer than that, Delgado. Come on.
Not saying much there, but
Well, thanks.
all right. Well, Slick's got sports coming up. Rick Delgado, as you can see, is here.
You went to Palmer's on Friday.
Yes, I did. I went to Palm.
It's an inside joke. Inside joke.
I was there all weekend long.
But you were. How was your weekend? Other than that,
Actually, it was pretty damn good, I must say.
really?
Yeah, I got sucked into the whole what do you call it?
What?
Baseball classic, which I didn't think I would.
Ooh, that call strike was bad.
And no, it wasn't. That's a typical. You know what? That's a typical strike. They're going to call that probably 8 or 9, 8 times out of 10 in the major leagues.
Comment on that story.
Fine pitch by Bednar. Great pitch. Just an insane game. But one thing I think the rest of the major leagues found out.
What's that?
Is you do not run on Aaron Judge.
No.
Oh, that was
He's
oh
got
my
some
goodness.
arm, that guy.
Not only did he fire somebody out, I think it was Thursday or Friday night's game, then he did it again on Sunday.
Aaron Judge actually went out and said today that this is more fun and more exciting than the World Series, the World Baseball Classic.
He basically changed the way the Dominican Republic approached their base running for the rest of the game because they're like, well, we're gonna get snagged trying to go first to third.
Yeah, I saw the one gun out. I didn't see the second one, but man, what a cannon! Yeah. All right, very good. Paul Nolan's off tonight. Wasn't feeling great by the time he got home, so I told him, relax, get some rest. The weather's terrible anyways. I didn't want him driving tired and all that stuff, so he took the night off. So let's start tonight with our first word. And I felt it necessary to one more time, given this week, to talk about the Save America Act, the one bill that could slam the door on election fraud and save this republic from the clutches of the radical left. And let me tell you, you're seeing it already. The question on everyone's mind this week, is this a lost cause? Should the Republicans just wave the white flag and let the Democrats turn our voting booths into a free-for-all for illegals and fraudsters? Well, I say absolutely not. This fight is winnable, and it's time for the GOP to grow a backbone or get the hell out of the way. Look, Americans aren't fooled by the Democrats' smoke and mirrors on this. They support voter ID in the Save America Act in droves. We're talking 81% for requiring ID to vote, 75% demanding proof of citizenship, 80% wanting non-citizens scrubbed from the rolls. The bill itself, a whopping 71% approval, 50% from Democrats, 91% from Republicans, and about 70% of independents are on board. That's more popular than free beer at a tailgate, folks, or a tax cut on payday. Other than saluting the flag or honoring our troops, I really can't think of anything with this kind of overwhelming backing from both sides of the aisle from the American people right now. But here's the grim reality. We've talked about it. If Congress wimps out, and it looks like they will, and doesn't pass this act, we're staring down the barrel of a potential disaster. America will slide right into the same story, the sorry mess that Virginia's dealing with and New York City's dealing with, where a tiny, smug elite tricks the masses into thinking they're moderates, all centrist and reasonable. They get elected, then bam, once in office, they govern like full-blown communists that we know there are, shoving through their Marxist agenda with an iron fist. Think about it. The U.S. won't survive another rigged election cycle where just enough phony votes are cooked up to install these so-called moderate Democrats who then rule like tyrants, trampling our freedoms and turning the greatest nation on earth into more of a banana republic. And mark my words, if that happens, once the American Republic crumbles and we're plunged into a hot civil war, brother against brother, state against state, history books will scratch their heads and wonder, how did the mightiest country in the world shatter into a million pieces? How did nobody stop what was so glaringly obvious, a fatal flaw in our elections, wide open to fraud and manipulation? They'll look back at 2026 and pinpoint the one guy, the villain, who couldn't muster the guts. And that, of course, is John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader who blocked the path when 85% of Americans were screaming to fix this mess. Think about that, folks. Thune, the rhino extraordinaire, snubbing Trump, ignoring the polls, and dooming us all because he can't muster the guts to force a real fight. It zipped through the House last month, all 218 Republicans voting yes, plus 3 Democrats, but in the Senate, stalled. Thanks to Democrats who loathe anything that cramps their style, voter ID, proof of citizenship. Well, that'd be hamstringing to their free stuff brigade and their army of illegal voters. They can't have that. They've sworn to filibuster, and Thune says he'll bring it up this week for a show vote, but under the 60-vote cloture rule. He knows it'll die there. It's pure theater, failure theater. Why not demand a talking filibuster? The talking filibuster remains one of the U.S. Senate's most distinctive and enduring tradition. Unlike today's silent filibuster, where a senator merely signals opposition, forcing a 60-vote cloture threshold to proceed, the classic talking version demands continuous physical possession of the floor through marathon speeches. This tactic once preserved the Senate's foundational principle of unlimited debate, protecting minority voices but often frustrating the majority's will. The Senate is supposed to be the world's greatest deliberative body, we've heard. That is what's supposed to happen, deliberate. These silent 60-vote filibusters are a joke. Let Cory Booker drone on for another 25 hours about why showing ID is such a burden. Go ahead, Democrats, rail against what 80% of folks want. Or the Republicans should just go nuclear, nuke the filibuster with a majority vote and pass the damn thing. Now, whiners will say Democrats will turn it around on us. Well, newsflash, I think we've all come to the realization they're going to do it anyways. They nearly did it in 2022, halted only by Cinnamon Manchin, who are history now. What's more transformational than locking down our elections? With Biden's 10 million illegals pouring in, courtesy of his open border fiesta, we need this to restore trust. Fail here, and Democrats will cheat their way back, cement power, and then it's game over. So, John Thune, it's time to step up or step aside. Force the talkathon. Expose the Dems' extremism. Make them own it. If Save America passes, they might never steal another election. That's why they're clawing tooth and nail against it. But if you block it or put it up for failed theater vote, history's got your number as the man who let it all fall apart. And that's tonight's first word. And I bring it back up. I've done a couple of these on this because I just think it's that important. I just think what we're seeing is one of the great betrayals, and there's been plenty of them if you've been doing this for a long time from the Republican Party, from leaders in both House and in the Senate. But this has got to be right up there with one of the bigger ones.
Well, this is probably the biggest one. I don't think we've ever seen something that was supported by so many of the American people on both sides and say, just get it done, and they refuse to do it. The people who are elected, who take money from you, who lied to you and said, I'll represent you and everything you want me to do, I'll do it, are telling you to go kick rocks. They're saying, you know what? No, I don't think so. I serve the less than 20% who don't want this. And what's telling is when Chuck Schumer, I think it was over the weekend, he said that ICE, which I don't know how they do this, but ICE is going to kick billions of people off the voter rolls. ICE. Not only did he say ICE would do it, which they have no power to do, but he said billions of people. In other words, he's basically admitting that there are a lot of people on these voter rolls that don't belong there, and he's afraid that they're going to be kicked off. This is just insanity, and it's coming from the deep state. It's coming from the rhinos with their Democrat partners, and they don't want to do anything about it because they want the gravy train to never end. And that's what they're afraid of. And I think Trump was right when he said last week, he goes, if some of this stuff gets exposed, you'll see people who never won elections sitting in offices right now, and they're going to have a lot of splaining to do.
All right, let's take our first break. We'll come back and talk more about this because I think all of what you said is correct. But I think that everybody's anger, including the president's, and it's really going to be his, to direct in the next couple of days and pressure Thune. It's all lies with Thune.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll talk about more about it. 13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We're back right after this.
Chat live in the chat. Heading over to the Rumblers now. Let's see. Billerites is in there. Tired 2023. Chrissy Cat. I hate Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh.
Kitty 92. Tired 2023. You know what? I'm tired. Coral Reef. Sparky Glenn. Don't laugh at my groin, everyone. Or you could, but you shouldn't. El Gatos. De Gatos.
Delgados?
No, El Gatos.
Okay. I'm in the YouTubes, Rick. I got a couple of super chats coming in hot. XJSCV, $5 super chat. Is Mamdani taking credit for the rain washing the snow away? And how is the garbage doing in the rain? Just wonderful. And Bill Moore, $10 super chat. We love Bill. He's in the chat every night. Happy 45th wedding anniversary to Mr. V, a.k.a. Daniel, and his lovely wife, Julie. God bless you both. Hope you had a wonderful day, and you two have many, many more. So Mr. V in the chat, who's in the YouTube's chat, happy anniversary to you and the missus. Very nice.
Very nice.
45 years.
Panama Tom. We've got Bananas Blow. One Patriot Deb. Julie GB is in there along with Helm SM, TJK.
Yeah, I got a few more shout-outs, too. Brian Belford in the YouTube. Let's see. Bowser Roadkill. Luca Brazzi coming in. Mr. V.
Oh,
Thanks,
Luca
Bill,
Brazzi.
he says. Randy Smith. Lynn Dash Broke spoke, of course, as always. David Lynch is in the chat. Let's see, who else? Margaret Ferguson. Yep, how you doing, Margaret? Warren Koenig, another regular.
I want to say to everybody, hello in the 6B app. A lot of nice, getting a good group over there. 417 Raiders, Farmer Brook.
I like the 6B
Director
app.
Aaron, Jennifer Perryman, Sonia Henderson, John Lavoie. You can now pick your screen name in there, and you can reply to other chatters.
Pick your screen name. Wow, like that. Slick Rick coming in hot.
You didn't update your app, update it. All those changes were made.
I got to
Good to see everybody over there.
Howdy in the Twix chat. Santa Fe Mockingjay, Phil Coe, Tumbleweed Farmer,
Tumbleweed coming in.
Riverbank Trash, Dave Syverson,
Riverbank Trash.
Pitchfork 22, Martin Bilson, D. La Vaca.
Penny a la vodka.
That's what I was thinking. Penny a la vodka. Because it's so delicious.
It is.
C. Jules.
Scrumptious.
Skeetmans, Kelly K.
Skeetman.
All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in, everybody. Make sure you follow Real America's Voice on all their socials at Real AM Voice. Pretty much everywhere. And, of course, at LFS6B, pretty much everywhere. Slicks here is doing sports. Delgado's going to do some more headlines. We did a first word about the Save America Act, which I've done a couple on, but I just felt it was necessary because... I just don't think Thune should be allowed to just get away with this so easily. And I saw the president today, and one of the many times he was on TV taking questions in the Oval about Thune, and there he is saying, no, he's trying. No, he's not. With all due respect, sir, he's not trying. What he's trying to do is run cover for people like John Cornyn, who are never going to vote for this if it actually mattered. And he's also running for Cornyn, by the way, by delaying the vote till Wednesday. Where Tuesday, I think, is the last time to drop out of the Texas race. And, of course, if Cornyn came out against it, that would be detrimental, even though he shouldn't even need anything that'd be more detrimental other than his record should be enough, by the way, for voters. And, of course, the president wouldn't even think about endorsing him if he came out against it. So now what's Thune doing? He delays the vote till Wednesday, where then he can't drop out. Now, obviously, the president cannot endorse him. But Thune can't be allowed to get away with this by just going, the votes aren't there. And a talking filibuster, I've really looked at it with my team, and it's not going to work. and then, unfortunately, because we have to see Trump do what he does to people like Massey and Rand Paul and others, and whether you agree with it or not, at least he puts the pressure on when he thinks he needs to. He needs to do that with Thune.
Yeah, definitely. He can't be tippy-toeing around this
He can't be taking questions in the Oval Office today and go, John Thune's doing a great job. He's really trying to get it through. No, he's not. He's doing everything he can not to get it through.
Yeah.
He's doing everything he can to just run cover for all of your worst people.
Yeah, he's already made the decision that it's not going to pass. So he's going to not do a damn thing to make sure it stays that way.
The talking filibuster, this is like what Rachel Bavard wrote. I wrote it a couple weeks ago. For the 9 millionth time, the talking filibuster is standard order right now in the Senate. No rules need to be changed. Nothing needs to be voted. It is standard operating procedure, or standard order, I think, as they call it, in the Senate right now. Nothing has to be done other than you finding the guts to actually do it. That's it. And he won't do it. Bringing it up under 60 is just a big middle finger to everybody, because everybody knows the deal. It's not like we don't know that it's not going to get 60. So it's just failure theater at this point. And he shouldn't be allowed to get away with it, and the White House should not run cover for him that he's doing a good job. He's not doing a good job. He hasn't done a good job. And I'm shocked that that they haven't been more vocal about this guy. Where's recess appointments for the president? Has John Thune ever? No, nothing.
Nothing.
This is the stuff that gets me about where he puts pressure and where he doesn't put pressure. The bully pulpit I don't get it. This guy skates. McConnell always used to skate. Barrasso, McConnell, Thune, all of them. They always skated, and they still skate. And Thune's skating now, and he shouldn't be allowed to. Just that simple. All right, let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you want to shop at MyPillow. All the great stuff that Mike has when you need towels, slippers, shoes, whatever you need. Obviously mattress toppers, sheets. You can get it all at MyPillow.com/LFS6B. Great gifts, great stuff. Use code LFS6B at checkout. Slickster, what's going on?
All right, Big D, to the ice we go. Check out the scoreboard there. And in Jersey right now, the Devils trail the Bruins 2-1 midway through the second period. Also midway through the second in Detroit, Red Wings over the Flames 3-2. In the Garden, the Kings are blanking the Rangers 3-0 with about 8 to go there in the second. And mid-first period, Stars over the Mammoth 1-0. Penguins and Avalanche 9:30 puck drop out in Colorado. World Baseball Classic, Venezuela and Italy. Just getting it on. Bottom of the first. No score. We'll track that. The winner of that plays your United States. Controversial strike 3 gives Team USA win at World Baseball Classic. Social media erupts. Hold it there, Gato. I know you're going to want to comment on this. Ryan Gatos of Fox.
An understatement.
Well, Team USA was able to narrowly defeat the Dominican Republic 2-1 last night to advance to the World Baseball Classic. But the final at-bat came under fire as U.S. closer Mason Miller got a Dominican Republic shortstop Geraldo Perdomo to strike out looking. Juan Soto also struck out looking on a similar pitch from David Bednar in the 8th inning. The Soto strikeout ended Dominican Republic's chances of tying the game, while Perdomo's strikeout ended the game. And, social media just absolutely went crazy with the call. Fox Sports broadcasters Alex Rodriguez, David Ortiz, and Derek Jeter also weighed in. A ball. You got the pitch here. Let's see. Take a look at the pitch here.
Yeah, it's good.
That's low. Get out of here.
Well, see, you're saying it's low from where he caught it, not where it crossed the plate.
I think it was dropping.
Where across the plate is right on the line, and then he caught it underneath that. That's why everybody freaks out, because they're looking at where he caught it, not where it actually crossed the plate.
Now, here's your A-Rod expert here, former Yankee. A ball that's about 4 inches down, too close to take, but this is Corey Blazer's hot zone, and it's down. Sure enough, he lived up to his scouting report. Rodriguez said, you just hate to end a big game this way, but these type of consequences on a pitch, and that's not a strike, he said. Ortiz said, if the umpire was calling 100-mile-per-hour pitches up in the zone strikes, then the pitch from Miller, low in the zone, couldn't have been a strike. So two baseball legends, Rick.
Yeah, but you've got Big Papi. Obviously, he's Dominican. Duh. He's going to be pulling for that side.
Well, that's
Come on,
true.
Stop.
Yeah, Big Papi's going to be upset.
You just read that he made that call earlier in other pitches.
Yeah,
so
but Delgado,
that's his zone.
But you're a wiffle ball champion. These guys are Hall of Famers. I mean, let's be honest there.
But when umpires establish a zone,
A-Rod's still waiting. I think.
The batters have to adjust to that zone. They know that. They can't just sit there and be like, well, it's got to be different for me as opposed to somebody else. It's going to be the same every time that pitch is thrown in that area. The umpire is going to call it a strike, or every time he's going to call it a ball.
Well,
simple as that.
He was consistent.
And it was too close for that guy to just watch it go by.
Well,
you gotta move the bat.
Yeah, it was a hot spot to be in. So, like I said, it's going to be. I'd love to see them play the Italians. That would be wild. My good friend Chris Vaccaro is the reporter. He's actually traveling with them, and I got to get him on the show afterwards. He thinks like us too. He's a great patriot. USA wins hockey gold medal in Paralympics too to complete historic Olympic sweep of our favorite friends up north, Canada. Dylan Gwynn of Breitbart. If you thought that Team USA's hockey's run of dominance over our northern neighbors ended with Jack Hughes' game-winning goal over Canada last month, you thought wrong. On Sunday, Team USA decisively defeated the Canadians 6-2 at the Paralympics in Milano Cortina to complete an Olympic hat trick of sorts. That saw the women's and men's teams defeat Canada for gold in the Winter Olympics, with the Paralympic squad icing the cake, literally. The Paralympic squad had been bringing gold home for a while, winning 5 straight championships. However, this marks the first time the men's and women's Olympic teams have joined the Paralympic squad to win gold. This team is so special, said Team USA's Jack Wallace on the ice following the victory. We love each other. The team grinded it out, a gritty, bleeping game. It was unbelievable. I love these guys so much. Wallace had 3 goals in the end. These guys are so talented with these sticks. Those remind me of the sticks you used to use in gym hockey. They used to play with a plastic ball.
Yes,
I used to have such a snap with that. I mean, I played hockey forever. But I love these guys. They're just amazing. USA with the hat trick, Big D. What do you think about that, huh? That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Love it.
That was cool.
That's so cool. So congratulations to those guys. I think the Paralympics, are just exceptional. I love the opportunity they give these great people.
And I love the fact that they follow it as soon as the regular Olympics is done.
Yeah.
They have them in the same place, using the same facilities.
Yep.
It's awesome.
All these stories of these overachievers, you know what? These guys, those are the real overachievers. And that's a wrap, Big D.
All right, Slick, very good. LFS6B is the promo code to use at MyPillow, sponsor sports. We'll be back with main headlines and some breaking news from John Solomon tonight. Big story. We'll get to that. All coming up live from Studio 6B.
Texas.
They getting pizza. You know what's crazy is that, what do you call it? Dominican Republic's catcher is Austin Wells from the Yankees.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Because his mom was Dominican.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's just unbelievable. I mean, Judge came out and said that earlier today about it was actually yesterday he said it, or early this morning, I think. He said that the World Series isn't as exciting as the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, not until he wins the World Series, it'll be like, yeah, it was pretty damn freaking exciting.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Well, I guess, wouldn't that be something? Italy and the U.S.? It'd be crazy. It's going to be a great game. I think the U.S. will pull that out.
Oh, yeah. Well, they didn't send their starters for the Italy game because the coach didn't realize that they needed to win that game.
And if the umpire makes a bad call, you know what they're going to sing? That's a moron. That's a moron. What do we got going on in the chat here? We're chatting away here. Cindy R. in the YouTubes.
In the YouTubes.
Marina Miller. Natalie Stewart. Of course, our own Allie Lane holding it down in the chat. Beth G. I think I got everybody else earlier. Becky Vasher. Patty Jamcat. We love Patty. She's always in the chat, too. New Jersey Girl, 54. NJ Girl, 54. Devils are losing 2-1 to Boston. Come on, Jersey.
Why, you need them to win?
No, I love Jack Hughes now. He's my guy, man. I'm an Islander fan still, but Islanders with a big win on Saturday night too over Calgary. Great game. Yeah, they're not that good. You're right. You know what? They moved the puck faster. I was watching that game. New Jersey Girl 54. Hi, Slick. Are you going to celebrate your son's birthday? We did last night. We had cannoli cream cake, and it was great.
What'd you guys have? Did you have chicken?
No, we didn't have chicken. We had sausage. No, we didn't have. That would have been terrible. Kramer had birdie bread. My wife made him nice birdie bread. I love it. It's like a pie.
What's birdie bread?
It's almost like a brownie, but for birds with all like a nutrients and all, and you bake it. It's really good.
Oh, yeah?
It's very nutritious for them. Yeah, you don't really want to give them any table food. Not good. Not good for birds. We used to feed Kramer French fries and stuff. Oh, man. But that was like 25 years ago. Now, every time he hears a bag rumble, he goes, whoa, French fry? Like, no French fries.
All right, live from Studio 6B, 30 minutes past the hour on a Monday, getting a brand new week started. Glad you're in. Of course, each and every night, we're so thankful that you give us a few hours of your weekday nights, 8 to 10, right here on Real America's Voice. And, of course, we're always thankful to them for the opportunity as well. Slick's doing sports. Rick Delgado's going to do some main headlines. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. So we didn't have this clip prepared, but I just found it, and I want to play it because Mike Lee seems to be... Well, he certainly has been on the forefront of this whole really pushing back against Thune's nonsense, saying that that there's nothing that needs to be done other than us to find some you-know-whats here to see this through. Well, he was on Laura Ingraham tonight, and here's what he said.
Now, word leaked earlier today, Senator, that Trump allies are planning a floor takeover. Now, what does that mean? I assume that's you. What does that mean, and how will that make it more likely that this becomes law?
I have absolutely no idea what a floor takeover means. But if a floor takeover means that we're going to make filibustering senators speak against this bill, heck yeah, I'm all for it. Let's do it. Let's take over the floor. I saw that phrase in a headline just a little while ago. I'm still confused as to what it means. But if it means enforce the talking filibuster, I'm all in.
Well,
Well, let's hear the rest.
Johnson's not going to do it, right? Or he doesn't have the votes to do it, he claims. So what now? I mean, President Trump was very frustrated. I was at the White House today. He's very frustrated by this. He thinks it's critical for Republican chances in the midterms and also 2028. I agree with him. So, again, he doesn't have the votes. He doesn't have 60 votes. What do you need to change the rule here and enforce the talking filibuster? Do you need to change a rule?
No rule change is required. No rule change whatsoever is required.
That's correct. Yeah. No rule changed. You just need to do it. Bethune won't do it. He won't bring it to the floor that way, at least so far. So I don't know what floor takeover means either.
Yeah, Mike Lee's been at the forefront of this. I saw a bunch of clips over the weekend as well. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with what they mean by floor takeover. But you heard him. He said, whatever it is, I'm all for it.
Yeah, whatever we have to do to get it passed. But again, Thune's taking just the opposite approach, and he's taking the opposite approach pretty much with everything. With President Trump, with his agenda, with recess appointments, and now with this. And I'm sorry, but you listen to people talk about Thune from the White House, and you think he's doing a great job. I don't get it. I don't get it. So, all right, 32 past the hour. So let's do some headlines that Delgado's got prepped, but I want to get to John Solomon's breaking news tonight, too. Big story in Just the News tonight, and John's been kind of teasing this is coming. It was out about an hour ago, 7:04, he released it. So we'll get to that. But let's do some other main headlines. Rick Delgado's got it. What's going on, Delgado?
Now, does that have to do with the China breach?
It sure does.
Okay, yeah, because I had that for hour number 2, but yeah, we'll do it whenever you want. That's fine.
Well, let's do it now.
I got a clip of it. All right, let's let's go right to it.
Yeah.
This coming from John Solomon, Just the News. U.S. Intel holds secret evidence that China accessed voter files as Senate weighs election security law. But security law. The United States expressed outrage when Great Britain revealed 2 years ago its voter registration databases were hacked by China in what became a global scandal. But it turns out the U.S. intelligence harbored its own secret at the time, knowing since 2020 that Beijing also gained access to American voter registration data, according to documents reviewed by Just the News and interviews with officials with direct knowledge of what's going on. And in terms of that, let's go to John Solomon. Here he is, cut number 9, talking about this. Cut number 9, John Solomon from Just the News. Check it out.
I don't think we're going to be able to let them do that. I think tomorrow we're going to put out our first story from documents we got from Biden-era officials that will show that there were infiltrations of the voter data in 2020 by China, and we've all been kept in the dark. And by the way, we're going to show people quotes from our own intelligence officials saying how dangerous it would be if Russia had gotten into voter data. Apparently, if Russia does it, it's a bad thing. If China does it, apparently we just keep mum about it. Tomorrow, we're going to let people see what we've gathered to date. Sadly, we don't have a significant amount of transparency from the Trump intel agencies or the Trump White House yet. I hope that changes before we go tomorrow. But we hit the go button tomorrow, and people will get to see exactly what our government has been sitting on for nearly 6 years.
Yeah, wow. So the memo, heavily redacted and quietly declassified by the Biden administration 2 years after it was written, has escaped most public notice. That means 6 years later that the U.S. intel community has yet to fully inform the American people or Congress on the breadth of evidence it possesses of China's actions, how Beijing got the data, and what operations it has taken or contemplated. A gap in public knowledge is particularly politically sensitive as the Senate this week debates a new election security bill that is a top priority for President Donald Trump. You could say this couldn't have come at a better time, right, Damon? When you stop and think about what he's releasing, talking about election security, now the onus really kind of points at Thune and those who don't want it passed. Is look what we just found, and it was uncovered by the Biden officials, the Biden intel community.
Well, but they kept the point, though. The byline of this story is that hidden from lawmakers, new evidence emerges that the Biden White House knew that China accessed voter registration data so far back as 2020. But as the vote comes up on election security laws, legislators have been kept in the dark about this.
But not anymore.
That's what's crazy.
And it just seems like it's syncing up perfectly that John's releasing it tomorrow. And
released today.
Well, I mean, he says he's going to release the.
The document's in here. It's up. That's why it was updated tonight at 7 o'clock.
Oh,
you can put this up, Aaron, if you want, just a little bit. This was, and look, the top declassified by DNI Haynes on 5th of October, 2022. No one's seen it.
Wow.
Until
they
now,
buried it.
Time ago.
Cyber operations enabling expansive digital authoritarianism. Key takeaways. China and other authoritarian governments are using cyber espionage attacks and influence operations to extend the coercive reach of their ideological enforcement and political control efforts beyond their borders. In some cases, they are impinging on Western democracies' sovereignty and interest to enhance their domestic stability. We assess that China and Russia are improving their ability to analyze and manipulate large quantities of personal information, allowing them to more effectively influence or coerce targets in the United States and allied countries. We assess that Beijing will be able to exploit Chinese companies' expansion of telecommunications infrastructures and digital services and their growing use in people's daily lives to exert its digital authoritarianism. Growing concern in Europe and other democracies about Chinese and Russian cyber actions and personal privacy creates an opportunity to propose alternatives to blunt digital authoritarianism. I mean, so you can... I mean, you see how much is redacted in this, obviously, but you see this chart. Hacking opposition, hacking foreign media journalists, hacking NGOs, stealing bulk personal data. China, check.
Unanimous.
Russia, check. Obviously, there's a lot redacted in here.
No kidding.
Wow.
We'd like to tell you more, but we're not allowed to
Like
show
the
it.
Epstein files.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's
According to John's article, it contains sensitive personal identifying information, including driver's license and Social Security numbers. The data is considered so sensitive that several Democrat states are currently trying to keep the Trump Justice Department from obtaining it. Liberal groups claim it's the holy grail of election integrity. In the hands of a foreign power, such data could be used to mimic social personas designed to influence elections or to make absentee ballot requests for fake votes, something the FBI feared China might be doing during the 2020 election, according to recently declassified documents. But no, don't worry. No, there's no such thing as fake votes.
the second one down here over on the left. Iranian hackers have engaged in widespread theft of personal information, particularly in the telecommunications sector and travel industry, to track targets of interest to the Iranian regime, according to cybersecurity researchers. So 7 pages, a lot of redactions, but quite a bit of information here. And it's on, that's good, Aaron. It's on Just the News. Obviously, as John always does with his reporting, links to the documents, and you can go under either the Dig Deeper link, or this one happens to be actually in the story if you want to see the declassified cyber operations enabling expansive digital authoritarianism PDF. It's actually in the article. But this, again, just shows that the Biden White House, just like we heard how they weren't involved in all of the stuff, all of the targeting of Trump. Think about whether it was the Mar-a-Lago raid, whether it was what was going on with the documents, whether it was going on with the National Archives, what was going on at the DOJ. All we kept hearing is, we're hands off. Biden, we're all hands off here. We have nothing to do with it. We haven't been in contact with anybody. We're not hiding anything. We don't know anything.
Nothing to see here.
I mean, just another thing that they just tried to keep everybody in the dark, that they knew damn well what was going on.
Yeah. If you remember last June, and again, this is from John's article in Just the News at justthenews.com. Last June, FBI Director Kash Patel turned over to Congress a long-hidden intelligence report from 2020, which raised concerns that China had plans to mass-produce fake U.S. driver's license to carry out a scheme to switch the election to Biden with fake mail-in ballots. It was then suddenly the FBI information report had been sent as an uncorroborated advisory to U.S. intel agencies on August 24th of 2020. It was then suddenly recalled September 2020, the day after then FBI Director Christopher Wray, that patriot, testified to Congress that he had not seen any large-scale voter fraud efforts because he didn't want to. The raw and unverified intelligence report was bluntly titled, check out the title, Chinese government production and export of fraudulent U.S. driver's license to Chinese sympathizers in the United States in order to create tens of thousands of mail-in votes for U.S. presidential candidate Joe Biden in late 2020. That was the title of the report. It basically says everything right there.
And a couple of the paragraphs further down, pro-Chinese spam network, 186 YouTube channels removed back in 2020. 186 YouTube channels were part of the investigation that were terminated. The group added that in June of 2020, we terminated 1,300 YouTube channels as part of the Chinese influence operations investigation. And then some other group, Spamouflage, targets Trump ahead of 2020 presidential election. NIC later wrote in a 2022 assessment, which was declassified in 23, they admitted since 2020, PRC senior leaders have issued broad directives to intensify efforts to influence U.S. policy and public opinion in China's favor. And obviously, social media was a huge part of that. DOJ formally accuses China's MPS and MSS of taking action during the 2020 election. That was filed in 2023. And here we are in 2026 and just finding some of this out.
Yeah. And again, with the Save America Act up for passing, I don't think this could have come out at a better time.
All right, live from Studio 6B, we'll get to some more news with Delgado when we get back right after this. Chat. What's going on in the chat? Live from Studio 6B app. Got a good chat going in there. Hello to everybody in there. If you haven't updated your app, update it so you can choose your screen name and reply to other chatters during the show. It's great. All of our friends on social media, wherever you're watching, we appreciate it. Skeet Man on Rumble, what's going on?
Skeet Man.
Cats B on X, hello.
Come on.
Hit the like and subscribe wherever you're watching, please.
Trina B on the YouTube. Les Durham.
Hello, Sherry Merrill on Facebook.
Gary S. on the YouTube. Steve Smith on the YouTube.
Connie Lou on X, hello.
YouTubes, baby. Ooh.
March Madness brackets will be set by tonight.
Yeah, well, you still have the play-in, right? We have the play-in that has to happen tomorrow and also on Wednesday.
Right, but your brackets have to be closed by Thursday at noon, as always.
Right. So we could set it up. People could start. They could start making.
I'll have it pinned on our X by tonight.
Oh, beautiful! Thank you. That'd be great. I love that.
Debbie Allen on Facebook, hello. Kit Kat on X, hello. Susan Lewis on Facebook, hello. We the People on Rumble, hello. Barbara Knight on Facebook, good evening. Huh? Thank you for being here.
He thinks he's going to be arrested or something stupid like that. I don't know. Who?
Debbie Allen on Facebook. Damon, go to D.C. with me. Going to D.C. for what?
CPAC?
CPAC's in Texas this year.
Oh, is it really? Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. Where is it? Arlington? No.
I think it's in the Dallas-Fort Worth area somewhere.
That's not too far from Arlington. Oh, maybe it's by the airport, DFW.
I think it's at the 50-yard line at the...
Oh, the old Texas Stadium. They leveled that.
Jerry's place.
Now.
Jerry's place.
Oh, yeah? Happy hour at the strip club.
They wanted to put something in there that's a winner.
Talk about polling. Jerry will be there polling. Did you get Matt Midori's email, Big D?
I did. Let's have Matt on, talk about midterms.
Matt's the best.
CPAC is so outdated. College grad failure on the 6P app.
Fran must have a...
All right, 13 to the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday night. Glad you're in. Real America's Voice. Slick's doing sports. He'll do a little more here in a second. But let's get back to main headlines. Rick Delgado's got those. What's going up, Little D?
Little D.
That's you know what? That's actually, who said that, by the way, Aaron? Because that's hilarious.
A shorty.
With someone in the 6B app, I'll have to scroll back up and find it because his chat's flying right now.
That's a good one. That one made me laugh.
Oh, anyhow. Hank 388.
All right.
What was it?
388.
Hank 388.
Hank 388. Very funny, Hank. You made me giggle. You made Damon really laugh. So that's always a good thing. Anyhow, main headlines, Damon, an update on the war in Iran as Trump says Iran's military is decimated, but they're still not declaring that the war is going to be over. And I still don't understand the reporters who keep asking, when is the war going to end? He's never going to tell you. Stop asking such an obviously stupid question.
Did you see him today? He
yes.
called him out for stupid questions. He basically said, why do you guys ask me these things? You think anyone who would tell you that shouldn't be president?
And the funny part is, it was one of his favorites, Ducey from Fox, and he didn't slam him on it, which I was surprised at. It's like, come on, that's the dumbest question you ask. He's never going to tell you, because if he's telling you, he's telling them, and it's not about to happen. Anyhow, getting over back to what's going on over in Iran. CENTCOM blasts Iran's claim it destroyed U.S. fighter jets during strikes. U.S. Central Command rejected claims by the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps that it destroyed several American fighter jets in the regions, calling the claim false. No fighter jets have been struck by Iran. In fact, U.S. Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps fighter aircraft continue to demonstrate unmatched lethality and air superiority during the strike waves into Iran. Also, the U.S. is rushing forces toward the oil choke point as the Iranians threats to cut off the oil. Chief National Security Correspondent reported that 5,000 sailors and Marines based in Japan are being sent abroad aboard the amphibious assault ship, the USS Tripoli, though it could take about 10 days for the vessel to reach the region. Only 15 cargo vessels have passed through the Strait of Hormuz from February 28th to March 12th, according to Fox News' Jennifer Griffin. And here is, let's see, President Trump talking about what's going on in Iran. Here is cut number 2, actually cut number 1, as he talks about Karg Island. I guess Karg Island is becoming a huge point of interest, not only for U.S. forces, but also for the world, because of how much oil and how much Iran actually depends on what comes out of the island. Cut number 1, here's Trump on that strike. Cut number 1, check it out.
And as you know, we attacked Karg Island and knocked it literally, destroyed everything on the island except for the area where the oil is. I call it the pipes. We left the pipes. We didn't want to do that, but we will do that. We can do that on 5 minutes notice. It'll be over. But for purposes of someday rebuilding that country, I guess we did the right thing. But it may not stay that way. Just one simple word and the pipes will be gone too, but it'll take a long time to rebuild that. We are aggressively dismantling Iran's defense industrial base, and ability to rebuild its missiles and drone capability is getting down to close to zero.
Yeah, so there you have the president talking about that. And Germany says it will not join the military push to secure the vital oil route, the Strait of Hormuz, saying the war in the Middle East is not a matter for NATO. And here is President Trump, not only on the other allies, including Germany, but also specifically on France, cut number 2, and what he thinks of their assistance. Cut 2, check this out.
I have spoken to him. He's been... on a scale of 0 to 10, I'd say he's been an 8. Not perfect.
Of France.
But it's France. We don't expect perfect.
Are you confident that France will help with the reopening of Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think he's going to help. I mean, I'll let you know. I spoke to him yesterday. I don't do a hard sell on them because my attitude is, we don't need anybody. We're the strongest nation in the world. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We don't need them. But it's interesting. I'm almost doing it in some cases, not because we need them, but because I want to find out how they react. Because I've been saying for years that if we ever did need them, they won't be there. Not all of them, but they won't be there.
Yeah, so there he is talking about that. Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, said Monday other nations should help secure the Strait of Hormuz after President Trump invited countries to assist in protecting the critical global shipping route. And as far as the new leader of Iran, Damon, U.S. intelligence shows that Iran's late supreme leader was actually wary of his son taking power, according to sources, because he said he was kind of a dope. Believe it or not, sources familiar with the matter told CBS the analysis showed the elder Khamenei was wary of his son ever taking power because he was perceived as not very bright, kind of sounds like something President Trump would say, and was viewed as unqualified to be a leader. The information gathered also indicated that the father was aware that his son had issues in his personal life, according to sources within the administration, the intelligence community, and the people close to the president. Khamenei was selected to become the Iranians' next supreme leader last weekend, but no one's heard or seen of him because we think he's probably pretty much legless and in a coma. So we'll find out more. We'll see how this goes.
And gay, I hear.
And gay, too?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
That's the report.
Oh my goodness! I'm surprised they didn't throw him off.
Rainbow Coalition.
Yeah, there may not be a Rainbow Coalition for him there if they find that out. But that was the word, I think.
That's crazy. Who knew?
Yeah. Well, we all know as of I think yesterday.
That could be why nobody's seen or heard of him.
It could be.
They've seen high no hair.
Yeah. And finally, here's your favorite guy from CNN, Damon, Harry Enton.
Oh, Harry.
With his take, or a poll, I should say, on Americans and how they feel about the war that's going on with Iran. This
Come on,
is
Harry.
CNN's Harry
Rev it
Enton,
up.
saying Americans don't seem to care too much. Cut number 3. You got to see it to believe it. Check this out. Cut number 3.
But so far, there's kind of been a little bit of a collective shrug from the American public. What am I talking about here? Well, let's just take a look here. Americans who say they care a lot about the Iranian situation, look at this. It's just 45%. Just 45% of Americans say they care a lot about the situation going on in Iran. Compare that to the U.S. economy, which, of course, is the number one issue right now in this country. Yes. We're talking 84%. That is a very, very high number. And this 45% number, only about half that and below 50%. So despite all the hubbub, right now we're talking about less than a majority of Americans who say they care a lot about what's going on in Iran right now.
Yeah, so there you have it from your favorite and mine, Damon. Harry Enton over at CNN jumping on the poll, and he had another poll there about the what?
I think you're the one usually jumping on the poll.
Well, I don't know about that, but he had his poll, and there it was, and he was showing it off that it was only 45% of Americans actually care about what is going on in Iran. So there you have it. And that's what I got for main headlines.
All right, March Madness brackets, LFS6B brackets are now available.
Oh.
So go to our X. I've just pinned it at the top, so your picks can be made. You have to have an ESPN.com account, which most of you have from all the years we've done this. So if you still have it, you can log in.
I can dig up that password, Delgado.
If you use the link that's on our X, you'll go right to our group, which will be all the picks from this show. Top 3 will get free merch or free membership to the app this year. We'll offer that as well.
Are we going to top? What do we have?
One entry per person, Delgado.
Did we have 500 last year?
I don't know. We had something like that.
CD says
we should try to top that this year.
Take Duke the whole way.
I'll be filling out my bracket right now. If you want
Michigan
to know what
and Duke.
All right, live from Studio 6B. Go to our X. It's pinned at the top. Let's get some brackets in before Thursday.
Wisconsin.
Damon, do you think we can post the link to the bracket inside the app somewhere?
I just did, but it's not clickable.
You don't advise taking that upset over the badges?
I just put it in there, but it's not clickable, I noticed.
Come on, can you beat the badges?
Oh,
I'm wondering if there's anywhere else outside the chat where we can post it on the main homepage.
Wisconsin
for now.
is one of the scary teams nobody wants to play.
Maybe.
Yeah, they're one of those 5s you can't,
Nobody wants to play Wisconsin. Nobody wants to play Vanderbilt. St. John's dispatched of UConn over the weekend. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, that was. Who's St. John's? Who'd they draw in the first round?
They're a 5 seed.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wisconsin's a 5 seed.
They got to travel across the country. They didn't. Calipari. Patino put a good spin on it, but I think they got a little unlucky, and they're going to have no fans that travel, obviously.
LIU got in too, huh?
Yeah, they're going to the.
They're going down.
No, they're in the East.
LIU's
St.
going
John's
right
is in
down.
the East. They're playing Northern Iowa.
I think, where's that game? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's the trick. Getting on the plane.
Yeah, I think that game is in the West Coast somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably in California or Arizona somewhere.
Where's Duke playing?
Duke's playing in Washington, D.C.
Probably
That's
in
where
Chapel
St. John's
Hill.
is playing.
They can take a bus. They can take a bus there.
That's not what Patino said.
No?
No.
Get the brackets out. Big D, let's get a graph going here.
I see D.C., Houston, Chicago, and San Jose. So, yeah, what is he talking about? He said they had to fly across the country. He said if they were, I don't know. I actually don't know.
Yeah, they're fifth seed in the East region. They wouldn't fly across the country.
I see where they are, but I'm just telling you what I saw in an interview with Patino.
Right.
He said, I'm not surprised we're a 5, but I think we got a bad draw having to travel across the country. He said.
Where's Vegas Arena? Good.
So I don't know what he's talking about.
Got to sit down and give a good look tonight. More homework. That's going to be good, though. The bracket.
Find the whole show.
I love doing that.
Oh, they do have to fly across the country. San Diego?
If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you.
Don't hate nobody, I just won't kneel. I don't chase headlines, I live what's real. I raise my kids to think and pray, to know the cause before they say. I don't scare easy, I don't scare fast. It's God, grit, and guns, no fear in my chest.
Because of you, Real America's Music just released the brand new single, God, Grit, and Guns, and it's already climbing the charts. Now let's take it a step further. Go download the song right now, and you'll automatically be entered to win a special prize. If God, Grit, and Guns hits #1 on Billboard, one random downloader will receive the plaque, a real piece of music history. So what are you waiting for? Scan the QR code or search God, Grit, and Guns on iTunes and download it today. Let's run it up the charts.
God, grit, and guns.
If your television sounds funny in the evening, you're watching live from Studio 6B.
Hour 2, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Monday, March 16th, live from Studio 6B. Real America's Voice. Glad you're in, everybody. Slick's doing sports. Going to do some right now. Delgado's got more headline news. Got a couple things to cover. Paul Nolan's off tonight. March Madness brackets. LFS 6B group is out. You can get to it on our X. I put the link in a bunch of the chats as well. You can start to fill out your brackets to be eligible to win. Your brackets have to be locked and loaded before the first game tips off on Thursday at noon.
March Madness, baby.
March Madness is here. So fill out your brackets. We got to do more brackets than we did last year, which I think was in the 500-600 range.
We got to do 1,000 this year.
Love to do at least 1,000 brackets.
Come on, guys.
That would be awesome.
And I'd love to do and I have to perform better than last. I mean, my bracket last year was just abysmal.
Oh my gosh.
Who won last year on the show? Did we remember?
I'm pretty sure I landed the highest, but I was like in the 300s.
It was the same person who won Odds Makers last year.
No, but I mean between us on the show.
Rick.
Yeah.
Slick
did?
Oh, yeah.
I thought you finished like 10th.
Okay. I did not.
He's finished 10th overall.
No, you're right. I was. Wait, that's right.
You were up there.
I was number 11, I think. I was number 11 overall.
Yeah.
On our group?
No, in the whole thing.
In the whole thing.
Yeah, and the whole
he did
bracket.
surprisingly well.
I was number 11.
He doesn't know basketball.
I should get a show on that.
What the hell is he talking about?
No, yeah, that's right. Aaron, good memory. You're right. I was number 11.
Oh, yeah.
I was annoyed. I just missed being
I was the one that said you were like.
She had said you were 85. You would have said, oh, yeah, I'm 85.
No, she said, yeah. No.
I said
11.
10. I was one off.
No, I remember that.
All right, well, I'm going to do better this year because I'm picking all chalk all the way because that's what this tournament's going to be.
Duke.
Maybe I'll make a bracket this year instead of going on friends.
Well, what do you mean maybe you'll make a bracket this year?
Well, I didn't make one last year. I just kind of piggybacked off of Fran's bracket because I don't follow basketball.
Fran was in a good run there for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, he had it for a while.
Fran had a good run for a guy who just picks the team. He just likes the names of the colors.
I did very well in the first half, and after that I went downhill.
Fran, what was the science you used for your picks? Give the audience a little tip here.
If it was a big difference, I picked the underdog.
Oh, okay.
That's smart.
Wow, looked at the spreads, huh?
Look at that.
Very impressive.
The Fran's makers.
Yeah. All right, very good. All right, we'll do some sports here in a second, but let's get to, other countries need to do more. Caroline Levitt on Trump demanding Europe help secure the Strait of Hormuz. That is the basis of today's diaper diplomacy. Rolling, Aaron.
The president looks forward to meeting with President Xi in China. This is a trip I know he's long been looking forward to, and I know President Xi has been looking forward to welcoming President Trump. As for the dates, as you heard from the president last night, there's a possibility the trip could be delayed. We'll keep you posted on that, but these are leader-to-leader conversations that are happening, so as soon as we have an update, we'll provide the new dates.
Caroline, President Trump says that other countries should now step up to safeguard ships in the Straits of Hormuz. Why should other countries that were consulted about this war, that are involved in this war, now put their trees in harm's way in this rear?
Because these other countries are benefiting greatly from the United States military taking out the threat of Iran. The rogue Iranian regime has long not just posed a threat to the United States of America, but of course to our Gulf and Arab partners in the region. As you see, I believe Iran has struck more than 300 civilian targets in the Gulf region. If you think about Europe, their ballistic missile capability that the United States military is currently wiping out was a direct and imminent threat to our European allies as well as our bases in the region, which is why President Trump took this action in the first place. So these countries are absolutely benefiting from ensuring that Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon. This is something not just the United States, but the entire Western world has agreed with for many, many years. So I think the president is absolutely right to call on these countries to do more to help the United States to reopen the Strait of Hormuz so that we can stop this terrorist regime from restricting the free flow of energy. And the fact that they are doing so just underscores why President Trump needed to take this action in the first place.
Talk about a paper tiger.
All right, diaper diplomacy. I did see this today. I was hoping there was a full version to be able to do a Baby News Network, but there wasn't. But I think this is probably just put this up for a second, Aaron. I don't know if this is a tease, but for St. Patrick's Day, I thought this was worth buying.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. I love the Irish. Tremendous people, great drinkers, very committed to the color green, similar to how I'm committed to gold. Same energy.
I'm Irish, man. The Bidens came over from Ireland. My great somebody came on a boat or a plane. Come on, man. You know the thing.
Joe, you can barely find Delaware. You're not finding Ireland.
I've been to Ireland, man. Kissed the Blarney Stone. Corn Pop would have loved that stone. He was a bad dude, but he was Irish, I think. Or was he from Scranton? Anyway, where am I?
That's the question the whole country's been asking for 4 years.
You know what the Irish say. Man, may the road always rise to meet you.
Joe, the only thing rising to meet you is the floor. Half the time you trip walking to a podium.
Look, here's the deal. Slaunch a jack.
Oh,
I was hoping there was a full episode, but there was not.
Oh,
it was just that. So
that's funny stuff.
That'd be St. Patrick's Day. All right, let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. What's going on, Slickster?
World Baseball Classic Big D semifinal right now. Italy up 2-0 over Venezuela. Nola on the mound for Italy. Montero on for Venezuela. D'Orazio and T-Nova both hit 2 meatballs into left for the 2 runs, and it is 2-0 Italy. Italy looking to take on the United States in the World Baseball Classic final. Can't wait for that. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. Give you one more report by the end of the night. And, Aaron, the Jets keep finding a way to get in the news. Haven't gotten into the playoffs in 15 years, but they find a way. And here we go. Jets to trade quarterback Justin Fields to Chiefs for a 2027 pick, probably a 7th rounder. Nate Taylor and Rich Cimini of ESPN. The Kansas City Chiefs found their newest backup quarterback for Patrick Mahomes on Monday, agreeing to send a 2027 6th round pick to the New York Jets. Jets to acquire Justin Fields. Sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter. Fields, 27, wanted to continue his career in Kansas City, although other teams were interested in acquiring him. The sources told Schefter after the Jets last week acquired quarterback Geno Smith. And wow, what a great deal. The Jets got Geno Smith with the Raiders to be their new starter in 2026. This is unbelievable. I mean, I can't believe this. Unbelievable.
Master strokes, huh?
Yep. So anyway, Big D, Justin Fields to the Chiefs. That's not a bad backup for Mahomes. But, when Mahomes goes down, that team is pretty much done anyway. And that's a wrap in sports. Back to you, Big
Aaron, anything to say about any of that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm happy that Justin Fields is going to be on a team that actually has like somewhat of a line around him, because the Jets literally couldn't do anything for him. And he played decent on the Steelers. He didn't have a great start in Chicago. He's been hopping teams every year, so I hope he honestly gets to stay with the Chiefs and grow. I don't know. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for us that we don't have to deal with him anymore.
How about Geno?
Why would you want to play on a team with your owner is talking bad about you in the media? I wouldn't want to play for them either. So I don't blame Justin Fields for wanting to go.
Yeah.
What about
How
Geno?
Woody Johnson treats him.
How do we feel about Geno now coming back?
I don't want to talk about Geno. I'm just going to get mad.
All right.
Let's have 30 quarterbacks in between Geno, and now we're going back to Geno. Crazy.
That's rough.
That's the Jets for you.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Hey, so let me finish sports tonight, even though Slick already finished it, with maybe what I think could be the greatest goal I've ever seen scored. Now, this isn't the NHL. This is I think this is the Russian league, professional league. But just take a look at this goal, Slick, and you tell me.
Wow. I've seen that done before.
Holy moly.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
That was great.
That's just stupid.
That is a great.
Oh, my Lord.
That is a great goal.
Boom.
That is a great goal.
That is a
top corner.
That's 1, 2, 3 angles of the stick to put that in.
Yeah, that's sweet.
How good is that?
And he
That
did
is
it,
sweet.
He did it at speed.
Oh,
which is
man,
crazy.
is that good?
Yeah, I got to tell you, that is a hot shot, man. That's a good one, Big D. Can't dispute that. Woo.
Very good. There was a bunch of news Paul had. One of them, did anyone even know that the Oscars was on last night?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
No idea.
Zero idea.
yeah.
Not that I would have watched it
I
anyway.
watched it. I watched it with my liberal mother-in-law, who I love
you
to
did?
death.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. Jimmy Kimmel comes on. She goes, oh, you got your guy. Let me see my guy. I go, Jimmy Kimmel? Oh, we started a whole argument. My mother-in-law.
Was any of it tolerable? It was just absolutely unwatchable drivel.
It was awful. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care for, Barbra Streisand, but she did do a nice rendition to Robert Redford, and she sung The Way We Were, which is a beautiful song. I mean, her politics are disgusting, but she was absolutely dynamite. That, for me, was the highlight. Other than that, Big D, I didn't care much for the movie at all, for the Oscars at all.
Uh-huh. Now, Kimmel came out and basically did what we'd all expect, and bashed Trump, and he bashed Melania, and he took a shot at CB. Oh, we have a cut here?
I put him on mute.
All right, let's see this slob. Roll that.
As you know, there are some countries whose leaders don't support free speech.
Aaron,
I'm not at liberty to say which.
That's enough. I can't stomach it. I don't care what he says. I can't stomach it. And then he did some lame thing where him and Matt Damon have this lame ongoing bit that they do, where they're supposed to hate each other and whatever. So I guess Matt Damon walked out or something like that, and
he's lame.
They continue this stupid bit that they have that I guess people think works. I don't know. I've seen him try to sneak on his show a couple times. They do this lame thing, but I had no idea. My point being, I had no idea the Oscars were even on.
No, me either.
And I think Conan can actually be quite funny, but I didn't see anything about his hosting duties that was any good.
He wasn't funny last night. Like I said, I watched most of it. I love the fashion, I'm all into that. But I watched most of it, and Conan was not funny whatsoever. He was not like he normally is.
They can't be. I mean, let's face it.
His hands are tied.
They'd have a meltdown if he was actually funny.
Yeah,
they can't have that. They're very serious people. All these people in Hollywood, don't you know, Dame?
Yeah. Well, that's why, of course, it wasn't the Oscars. It wasn't the Oscars that Gervais took them apart. It was the Golden Globes, right?
Yeah, that was the Golden Globes.
Yeah, I mean, that was just. You always have to just subscribe now to the Ricky Gervais style of hosting if you want anything that's even watchable. But none of them have the you-know-whats to do it, including John Thune, to do it. So, all right, live from Studio 6B. We're back 13 past the hour right after this.
That must have been a Paul Nolan hockey send-in, right? Did he send that to you? You caught that?
No, I had that.
Wow, that was great.
I saw that over the weekend. I couldn't believe it.
That was a great shot.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
That's classic.
At that speed.
At that speed, too. Exactly.
3 times he had to touch the puck behind his angle. Is 3 times. 1, 2, and then the third one. I mean, that's crazy.
I'd have a problem with a ball by myself on feet.
Holy cow.
You have a problem with your balls?
No. Listen, little D. You keep it quiet there.
Yeah,
actually, next time you host, I'll go back to you, little D. Talk about getting the short end of the stick on a show. What makes Mr. Smith HBMX? It makes Slick 124 years old. Uh-oh. What did I do?
Damon, do you know what the viewership for the Oscars was? Racing Banshee on the 6B app. No, I do not.
Oh, it was probably in the billions. They watch all over the world. A very big one.
I do not know what it was.
It's a big audience because you got a lot of the European movies, you got a lot of the short film. I think Kimmel made a comment about he's going to be mad because his wife wasn't nominated. She wouldn't even be up for this year, I don't think, right? Her movie it just came out. It just came out. It wouldn't have made it, yeah. Yeah, see? Good joke there.
Yes. Okay.
I don't even know what we're up to here. We're way behind. Delgado, we have a bunch of stuff for you we haven't even covered yet. So you want to just cover a bunch of it?
Sure.
Big D, Broke Spoke is asking, Damon, how is your father doing?
Dad's doing good. I haven't talked to him. I didn't talk to him this weekend, but I'll talk to him tomorrow.
And he's doing really good.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
My daughter was in New Jersey this weekend. Dance.
Uh-oh. You don't tell me you had to go there.
No, he was home.
I have a reason.
Oh, you. That's right.
He was a bachelor party. He was
right.
He was palming it.
He had DoorDash deliver it. Did you do anything?
Well, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B, Sound Like the Blues, which means I'm going to read something to you, and that's going to be our friends at Tax Network USA. Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? You filed every year, but you keep owing? You retired and got hit with a surprise tax bill? Are you a business owner with a tax bill you can't afford? Did you take early money from your 401k and now you owe? Well, there's a lot of situations there. However your tax issue started, the result is the same. Your balance is not going down, penalties grow, interest compounds, and many of you are about to owe again this year with no plan in place. Stop what you're doing right now and call Tax Network USA and put a plan in place. The IRS can garnish wages, levy bank accounts, and even take your home or retirement. With over 15 years in business, they have seen and resolved it all, helping taxpayers nationwide settle over $1 billion in tax debt. Call 1-800-905-8000, 1-800-905-8000. That's 1-800-905-8000, or visit tnusa.com/RAV, tnusa.com/RAV. Or again, call 1-800-905-8000 and get with our friends from Tax Network USA and put a plan in place for your taxes before this situation gets to a point where there's no coming back. So get with them now if that's you, tnusa.com/RAV, or call 1-800-905-8000 and get ahead of it. All right, live from Studio 6B, 18 past the hour. We got a bunch of news here to get to. Let's do it. Rick Delgado's got it. What's going on, Delgado?
All right, Damon. Well, I don't know if you saw this, but today at the White House, President Trump officially launched the Anti-Fraud Task Force, which is being led by Vice President J.D. Vance. The president signed an executive order earlier today launching the task force aimed at proving Trump's claims that federal funds intended for social welfare programs are being stolen in some states. Trump had previously tasked Vance with leading the administration's efforts to investigate the fraud in Minnesota. The order signed today designated that the task force look into fraud allegations across the entire country. President Trump repeatedly invoked a scandal that dates back to 2020 in Minnesota, in which 47 people were accused of defrauding $250 million from the state-run, federally funded child nutrition program. The controversy prompted President Trump earlier this year to send 2,000 federal immigration officers to crack down on the migrants. And he specifically singled out also California during remarks earlier today and said without providing evidence that fraud allegations were higher in Democrat-led states than in Republican-led states. We'll see how that all plays out with, again, Vice President J.D. Vance now leading that task force. Here is cut number 4 of J.D. Vance, or I should say President Trump, talking about the task force. Cut number 4. Check this out.
This executive order in front of you will establish a new task force aimed at rooting out that fraud, returning potentially billions or tens of billions or even hundreds of billions of dollars to the American taxpayer. This task force will be chaired by the vice president. The vice chairman will be the head of the FTC, Andrew Ferguson, who's with us here as well today. But this is going to launch a whole of government approach to rooting out the very serious problem of fraud in federally funded programs around the country.
As an example, you've been seeing it and seeing it pretty big in Minnesota, $19 billion. But that's only for one little aspect of the fraud. It's $19 billion, and California, as they say, is 10 times worse, and other states are 10. And this is not a Republican-Democrat thing. This is wherever it's taking place. It seems that it's usually in blue states. If it's in a red state, we're going there too. But it seems that it's heavily, heavily, heavily Democrat. And what they've done is so sad. When you look at the Minnesota scam, a lot.
Yeah, so there's the president talking about that. A copy of the executive order released by the White House said members of the task force are to come up with a plan in 90 days to implement the anti-fraud efforts. And a White House fact sheet described the order, mentioning California, Illinois, New York, Maine, and Colorado as states, U.S. states with insufficient fraud oversight. Here is, speaking of Minnesota, President Trump took a little stab at one of the representatives from Minnesota. Cut number 5. Here he is on Ilhan Omar. Cut 5. Check this out.
That's crazy. And Ilhan Omar, I hope this is part of it, but she married her brother, supposedly. I mean, there's a lot of documentation. That means she's here illegally and she's a congresswoman. And I hope you're going to be looking at that, or somebody is, all right? Because she's one of the ringleaders here. She's bad news, really bad news. She's so bad for our country. Anyway, JD, please say a few words.
Yeah, so there you have it. His take on Ilhan Omar. Damon, you look like you were about to say something.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Speaking of blue states where, let's face it, all they do is seem to spend money that they don't have.
I mean, I just think on that whole thing, I think the quickest way to deter other places on fraud is to actually make somebody pay for the fraud that's already happened. That
make
you know
an example,
about.
Yeah. Put them in jail.
Until that happens, I'm not really sure that much is going to be a deterrent, including some new government entity with some name to it. I love JD, but what are they going to? I mean, what's come on.
Just get to Minnesota and make the arrests.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of fraud in different states, New York mentioned in one of those, Mayor Zoran Mamdani's administration. Whoa. Check this out. They've inked a nearly $1.9 billion contract, no bid contract, with the city's hotel industry to provide emergency shelter to, you guessed it, homeless people for the next 3 years. The New York Post has learned the massive $1.86 billion deal comes despite the Big Apple no longer being heavily burdened by a migrant crisis that led then Mayor Eric Adams to turn scores of hotels into temporary shelters. But even with the ebbing and influx of migrants, the city is still grappling with to house. More than 85,000 people a night are seeking to stay in shelters, according to the Department of Homeless Services. At least 15 people froze to death outside during the winter's cold snap in January and February. And the city's DHS contract that they just signed with the New York City Hotel Foundation represents nearly 300 of the Big Apple's hotels. Here is, where is he? Here is cut number 6. Because let's face it, to do all this stuff, you got to raise taxes, don't you? Well, here's Mayor Mamdani talking about that, so people can just stay in New York City, even though it's not a right, it's a privilege. Cut number 6. Check this out.
New York City tourism.
Being in the wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, we already see an exodus of working and middle-class New Yorkers. So I don't have a hesitation in asking those who make the most amount of money in the city or the most profits in the city to pay a little bit more so that everyone can actually stay in this city.
Yeah, so you have to pay more so everyone can stay in the city. Not that they belong in the city, not that they actually earned it and can pay their own way, but he just wants them to stay in the city.
Let's this is a good segue into something I saw this weekend, and I want to try to invite this guy on the show if we can get to him. Stephen Fiorillo. He is a writer, I believe, at Seeking Alpha. He's an analyst. He's also a co-host of some show called the Basis Point Pod on YouTube. He's a financial blogger, and he lives in New York. And he put this out this weekend. It caught a lot of attention, including mine. He says, and we need to talk to Doug Smith about this as well.
Yeah.
As a lifelong tax-paying New Yorker, I'm extremely worried about the ramifications of the estate tax proposal on New Yorkers if it gets signed into law. Let's be clear about this up front. This isn't about politics for me. I'm not fighting for the billionaire class, and I'm certainly not one of them. What I am is someone who understands basic math, economics, and business, who has watched what happens when states push tax policy past the breaking point. That is absolutely what is going to happen here in New York.
Yep.
Here's what's on the table right now, he says, in Albany. A proposal to reduce New York's estate tax exemption from $7.1 million down to $750,000. An 89% cut while increasing the top rate from 16% all the way to 50%.
Half.
That's what's on the table in New York right now.
They want half.
Supposedly, the New York City mayor is the spearhead of this. We'll talk a little bit more about this when we get back.
Yeah, well, the problem is they have no juice, the assembly, because they're in the minority.
If this was to get approved, you'd have to leave the state.
Yeah, it was with Doug.
You have to leave. There's just nothing left.
Doug had his campaign kickoff on Saturday. What a great room of people, just like-minded, great Republicans. But he said this budget's a doozy. They're not going to come in on deadline either. They won't have it ready for April Fool's Day. Not with that fool.
How we doing for Thursday, Farmer Brook, Aaron? Huh? You talk to him? He understands that we're not messing around, right? Mm-hmm. How are you judging him early as a candidate?
He's going to get grilled.
Huh?
Oh, he's got a whole team. They're going to vote red right down the line.
You have all your gotcha questions that you want me to ask him yet? Well, I'm going to have a bunch of doozies for him, yeah. But everybody should have some. Mm-hmm.
He's going to get drilled. We
got to try to find something that we can really just nail him. See if we can just ruin his career before it starts.
Oh, don't do that to the poor guy. do you want to break his spokes? Damon wants to break his spokes right on national TV.
Just kidding.
Poor guy. Man, I mean, he might as well hit a pothole with that broke spoke.
It's not broke spoke. It's Farmer Brook.
Oh, it's Farmer Brook. Oh, I thought it was spoke. I got something in my head about those two. Farmer Brook and broke spoke.
Maybe they're the same guy. Maybe that's what we nailed.
That's why you never see them in the
Have we
same
ever
place
seen those two guys in the same room?
I have
at the
not.
same time.
Yep. That's a good point. That's a good one right there, Big D.
That's right. Okay. Jinx wins as farmer. If you need a chief of staff, my resume is ready. Yeah.
Oh, he's got staff volunteers now, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. Damon's going to be a pollster for him.
Maybe Matt Midori can help him.
Matt's like Harry Etten Jr. He could be another Harry Etten.
I like Matt. We got to get him back
Matt's
on.
fabulous.
He was great.
He was at the fundraiser. I saw him.
There we go. There we go. I can see it already.
He's got bird flu.
30 minutes past the hour. So we were just talking in the break. Farmer Brook, who's running for, I don't know, something out in
town
Arizona.
council.
It's
Town council.
supposed to come on Thursday, town council. Thursday, because Bruce Blakeman didn't have time to come do the show. He's running for governor of New York. So Bruce is too busy to come do the show that talks the most in New York, I guess. So that's fine. Yeah. But Farmer Brook, we said, we'll put him on. But we said we're going to, we're going to have some hard-hitting questions. Well, he just said in the chat now he's a little under the weather. He may not be feeling good.
Oh.
So Aaron's going to get a call Wednesday night, I'm sure, at Thursday morning.
Yeah.
That he's under the weather.
Yep. He's at the urgent care.
No, make sure he's
bird
ready.
flu.
Yeah. So.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
He'll be ready.
Well, I'll see.
We'll see if he
He's
can make it.
running for office, though.
Farmer Brook.
And he's running away from an interview as well.
We'll see.
Yep.
No, he's very excited.
No, we're just playing around. People on here already. Just kidding.
Yeah, we're just gonna put his feet to the fire on some questions.
And try and ruin his political career.
Exactly.
Right, before
That's
it
our
even
goal.
starts.
Yeah, his competition is going to be watching this and recording it.
No, we won't do anything like that.
Oh, look at this guy on this.
The first
We
thing
won't
you're
give him
just
any
gonna roll
commercial
this
material.
footage.
Exactly.
We won't give him any commercial material
Oh, live from Studio 8H.
to work. So back to New York. Farmer Brook hopefully will avoid doing things like this in Arizona. Well, I don't think in town council will have the opportunity to. But this is what's happening in New York. So here's what's on the table right now. And supposedly this is coming from the communists in New York City. And, of course, the governor, I'm sure, is all too happy to play along. The proposal is to reduce New York's estate tax exemption, which right now stands at $7.1 million. So, if you're your family and your parents are getting older and they've done well or whatever, and their estate and it's going to pass down to you and then obviously onto your kids or whatever your situation is. Right now in New York, 7.1 million, everything is exempt. They want to reduce that down to 750,000 and then tax everything above that at 50%. Just think about that for a second. Let me say that again. They want to take the exemption from 7.1 million total estate worth, where it would be taxed. They want to drop it to $750,000, which around here most houses would be more than that. Just the real estate would be more than that. Never mind the 401ks or anything else if you've been lucky enough to do well. True. And then they want to tax it to 50%. And this is all batched up with all different revenue ideas, which revenue to them means taxes.
Yeah.
To try to plug the $5.4 billion hole in the city budget. And so then this guy goes through this whole thing about, obviously, the median home price, Nassau, Suffolk, New York City. And he says this is not a tax on the wealthy. This is a tax on the retired couple in Bayside, Queens, who paid off their split level. It's a tax on the family that runs a deli in Astoria and maybe owns the building. When you force those families to come up with 50% of the value above $750 after someone dies, what do you think happens? They sell, they liquidate, the house goes, the business goes, the generational wealth that took the family a lifetime to build disappears in a single tax event. Family businesses, which are the backbone of employment in neighborhoods all over the city, get gutted. According to the State Department of Taxation and Finance's own numbers, New York's tax structure is incredibly top-heavy, as millionaires pay 44.6% of all the personal income taxes collected in 2024. The top 200,000 filers covered 52%. The bottom half of all earners paid 0.2%. Think about how fragile that makes us. You don't need a mass exodus. You need a few thousand people in that top 200,000 that pay all the taxes to change their mailing address to Palm Beach, and your budget for the whole state falls apart. I mean, it's just beyond description, these people. To even have the balls to think that they could ram something like that through.
Well, they want everybody to pay their fair share, Damon.
Yeah.
That's the argument. Pay your fair share. You know, if the richest could just pay a little bit more, it would allow everybody else to have a little bit more.
Yeah, everybody could live in the city.
Argument.
They could all live in the city.
It'll
Why
be
not?
kumbaya. We could all hold hands and sing stupid songs.
Toast marshmallows.
Yeah, roast marshmallows and have s'mores.
If that, I mean, I can't even imagine it passing, but I guess it could here in New York, obviously. And if it does, I just don't see how anybody could stay here.
No, West Palm, you're right.
I don't see how anybody could stay here. You're gonna watch your parents, if they've done well and have been smart enough to save up for your kids and you and your kids and pass it on to family generations. You're gonna watch the state of New York take 50% of everything over $750, which your house is gonna be worth more than that.
Yeah.
No way.
And all the other stuff gets taxed at 50% to go to them. No way you could ever stay in this state.
Nope.
No way.
It's amazing. It's you know, you do the right thing. You think you're doing the right thing your entire life, and you want to hand off to your family to keep it going. And guess what? Democrats want to steal it from you. It's not. They're not going to just take it. They're going to steal it from you.
Yeah,
something that they have not earned. They could not earn themselves. They'll steal it from you because they feel like it gives them a sense of moral superiority. Because oh my goodness, look what we did. That person with all that money. They have this idea that people that have a certain amount of money, they don't really need all that money. Mm-hmm. You don't need 3 houses. You should be able to. We should be able to just confiscate what we want because you don't really need it. You only live in one house at a time.
Yeah,
that's the way these people think. Meanwhile, the people that think that way, Bernie Sanders, has 5 houses. 5. That his stupid face can't live in 5 times. He can only live in one of. So guess what? Go get Bernie's 4 houses first. Let's start there if you want to start this crap. These people are beyond, and you know what? They're so pedestrian in their thinking. They think, oh, well, this will fix the problem. No, it's not. You know it's not going to fix the problem because you know it's just leading you down the road where you can confiscate everything. That's what they want. They want 90%, but they're willing to take 50% for now.
Yeah. All right, 37 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. We got 50 people signed up for the brackets already, so let's get way more than that. The link's on our X. It's pinned at the top. You can go join our March Madness bracket for Live from Studio 6B. Top 3 will get either free merch or free access to the app, to the members part of the app that's now out. Or actually, it's been out for about 10 years, but actually means something and redone. All right, let's do some news. Rick Delgado's got some headlines. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, speaking of things that are falling, Damon, we've talked about it before, but the UK has completely fallen, as RFK Jr. tells Joe Rogan that the UK went from the home of the Magna Carta to dictatorship for speech crackdown. They're talking about the threats from the UK that they've been imprisoning citizens for expressing outrage, for telling jokes on social media, podcasts Podcaster Joe Rogan and Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy marveled at how the UK has become one of the countries most infamous for cracking down on freedom of speech. During their discussion on the Joe Rogan Experience, RFK argued that the modern Democrat Party, which he left in 2023, has become increasingly pro-censorship. The former Democrat hopeful said this is a stark contrast to the Democrat Party he grew up with. And then, of course, Joe started talking about what's going on in the UK. As a matter of fact, here's a clip from the latest person being arrested over in the UK simply for a post that they put on social media. It's an amazing thing to see. Cut number 7. Check this out.
Look at this here, everybody. 6 armed police locking Lee up.
Armed police waiting for this guy.
What an utter joke.
Well, the joke
Can you believe this?
Everyone's on police here, so it's just counted it better. That
Because somebody was offended.
It's a joke.
Are you kidding me?
Utter joke. Absolute, utter pathetic joke.
Jokes are funny. Racist public order, isn't it?
Prove it. Show me a post what he's put. What's racist?
Well, there is some proof apparently.
All right.
Hello, everybody.
Are you satisfied spoiling people's holidays?
Well, are you satisfied?
All for a Facebook post.
Let's say this allegation is true. Are you satisfied?
I don't think any of us can go to the UK.
Well,
they don't have us coming off
when
the plane.
When the officer's happy to be there and following these orders, you know you've got problems.
Yeah,
we'd get the chair.
Definitely. Late last year, David Lammy, the UK's deputy prime minister, and I remember when this came out. I don't think we actually covered it. And Justice Secretary announced plans to scrap jury trials. So they're scrapping trials. Now you'll just get judged by a judge for offenses that carry a likely prison term of less than 3 years. Here's Joe Rogan and RFK Jr. talking about that. Cut number 8. Check this out.
So, whatever it is, if it's a social media infraction, there's no reasonable, judge by a jury of your peers. No, you're getting judged by a judge. And that's nuts.
The Soviet system. It's like Kafka.
I just can't believe how quick it happened. When when you look at the social media arrests, they were always disturbing. Like if you go back even 4 or 5 years, they had quite a few of them a year. But it really ramped up over the last year or so. And it's just insane to watch. And a lot of it is criticism of immigration, like legitimate criticism of immigration and legitimate criticism of crimes that have been committed. And people outraged, which is completely normal. But instead of doing anything about that, they want to arrest people from complaining, and it's just really weird to watch.
Yeah, they're arresting people because they're pointing out the crimes that are happening. He also argued that the British government, rather than solving the crimes that have been caused as a result of mass migration, are punishing those people who are complaining about it, as you saw in that clip there. It's just an amazing thing that happened to a place that I thought was really cool when I used to visit. I haven't been back in years, and considering what I've written on social media, I won't be going back.
I wouldn't get off the plane if I was you.
Yeah. I think I'd be arrested.
You think?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, I think so.
Well, I mean,
they don't, but they know.
I don't know.
I'm sure they're offended. They're offended probably by this conversation right now.
Wouldn't you have to be doing it there?
No. These people are doing it on social media while they're on vacation. They fly back to the country and they get arrested. That's what happened to this guy.
So he lives there, though.
The guy Lee, who was just arrested, lives there. But he was on vacation elsewhere.
Posted something they didn't like, and then when he got home, they got him.
Exactly.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What did he post?
I don't know. But does it matter?
Does it matter?
It doesn't, no.
It's like, the cop was like, well, it was offensive. Who gives a crap?
6 cops?
The fact that you're showing up at an airport to arrest a guy coming off a plane for what his thoughts are, that's offensive. But these people, they don't seem to understand it. And Damon pointed it out. That cop seemed happy to be there. I wonder what he's done in his life that we could say is offensive and have him locked up. Probably wouldn't enjoy it very much.
All right, we'll wrap it up already. Man, it's fast. For a Monday, live from Studio 6B right after this.
Vance. Good game. Tomorrow night will be the final game. Wow.
Let's do one more here, Aaron, if you can put my screen up for St. Patrick's Day.
Biden.
Mr. President, happy St. Patrick's Day. You know, back in Louisiana, we celebrate by drinking something green and regretting it by noon. So it's basically a Tuesday.
John, I love St. Patrick's Day. Nobody loves the Irish more than me. I built a golf course in Ireland. Tremendous course. The cows moved out of the way voluntarily. Very respectful cows.
You know, the Irish invented whiskey and the Democrats invented hangovers. One gave the world something useful. The other one just leaves you broke with a headache.
That's very well said and very true. Probably the truest thing anyone's ever said. I'm going to steal that. And I won't give you credit.
They say everybody's Irish on St. Patty's Day, which is a lot like Congress. Everybody pretend to be something they ain't.
Joe Biden told me he's Irish. He also told me he graduated top of his class, ran with Corn Pop, and knows where he is at all times. So I don't believe any of it.
You know what the difference is between a leprechaun and a Democrat looking for a pot of gold? The leprechaun has a plan.
Winner. That's a winner right there. Happy St. Patrick's Day from your favorite president. I look terrible in green, but I make up for it in everything else.
Mr. President.
That's classic.
So good.
Those are great.
Good. To the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday. Man, show went fast tonight. Last segment of the show.
Oof.
We'll do some sports with Slickster. We'll do some news with Delgado. Do you guys want to get into the whole Tucker Carlson CIA thing?
I don't really know much about it. It just sounds like a weird.
People are asking about it in the chat.
Just, I don't know. I mean, that would be like 70 chess on Trump's part if that's what he did. But besides that part of it, whether Trump knew, whatever the situation is, the whole idea now that somehow Tucker says I can't believe for 1 second that there's an investigation or something being drawn up against Tucker Carlson unless there really is something that nobody's expecting with his communication or something with a foreign power. I just can't believe that. The idea that our government's going to go after Tucker Carlson seems outrageous to me. And it would be outrageous unless it was something that nobody, they would have to, I can't imagine a scenario that anyone would be supportive of unless they really brought the heat. Well, it's something that was so clear.
Well, they're saying it's CIA, right? And we all know the CIA doesn't really have our country's best interest in mind. So anybody who speaks truth to power, they probably focus on. So I could see, him being wary of the CIA because, let's face it, they're probably looking at our stuff too because they don't like what we say. But he's on a much bigger platform and more well-known. And he's talked to Putin. So who knows?
Well, he also talked to the guy. He talked to the Iranian. He dropped that interview with the Iranian, whatever it was, president or somebody. That softball interview with him. right after he did the softball interview with Fuentes, and didn't really push back on either of them at all on any of the stuff they said. But again, the point is, whether Trump knew and brought him in thinking that whatever I tell him will get back to them, so let me use him, I have no idea. Nobody does. But the idea that our government is going to somehow go after Tucker Carlson seems absurd on its face.
Yeah, seemed a little silly.
Yeah, it just seems absurd on its face that they would even undertake that.
Damon, breaking news: Tucker Carlson arrested. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't see that.
No, me either. It just doesn't seem to make much sense.
No.
All right, let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. Slickster's got it. What's going on?
The update on that World Baseball Classic semifinal. Good game going on at Lone Depot Park in Miami right now. The Italians leading 2-1 over Venezuela. Suarez with a drive to left field, cut the score in half. Tomorrow night, the winner will take on the United States in the final game on St. Patrick's Day. Unbelievable. So we're looking forward to that. And again, 2-1, Italy right now holding off Venezuela. How about this for a baseball score earlier today? Spring training. The Brewers 24-9 over the Dodgers. Real pitcher's duel there. And talk about a career going up in smoke. Alabama star Aiden Holloway arrested with a pound of marijuana before March Madness. Still in Gwynn and Breitbart. The Crimson Tide may well be without a vital part of their offense before the NCAA tournament begins. You better check those brackets before you take Alabama here. Aiden Holloway, Alabama's second leading scorer, was arrested by the West Alabama Narcotics Task Force on Monday while reportedly in possession of more than a pound of marijuana, paraphernalia, and cash. Holloway has been charged with first-degree possession of marijuana and failure to fix a tax stamp. CBS Sports reports he was transported to the Tuscaloosa County Jail on Monday morning with a bond set of $5,000. The junior guard is the Crimson Tide's second leading scorer this season at 16.8 points per game and is shooting at 48.1%. That's a pretty good clip, too.
Yeah.
So they're going to miss him. I don't know, Big D.
Miss him, totally.
Alabama, you better look at that. That might be one that may not win. And let's last one quick one more. NASCAR Cup Series Vegas results. Denny Hamlin holds off the field for the win. This is Fox News reporting. Christopher Bell won the pole and stage 1 at Las Vegas. Then William Byron took stage 2, but neither driver had quite enough to get into victory lane. They both, however, finished in the top 10. The lucky winner in Sin City was none other than Denny Hamlin. Hamlin won the day, but fans might have expected that number 11 would have had a great race. In the fall of 25, Hamlin started his race from the pole before winning ahead of Kyle Larson. And, Denny Hamlin with the win. He's unbelievable. Chase Elliott came in second, William Byron in third. And that's a wrap in sports, Big D. Back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use. Anybody that wants to see that hockey clip that I played, it's on our X. I reshared it on our X, so a lot of you asking me where to find that clip. It's on our X right now.
Nice.
All right, let's do some news. Rick Delgado's got it. What else is going on in the headlines, Delgado?
Yeah, Damon, this will interest you on what Rick was just, Slick was just talking about, that Alabama player. I knew it jumped out at me. It caught my attention for a reason. Alabama is slotted to play your alma mater.
Playing Hofstra.
Hofstra.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden they go from
pride.
No chance in hell to now they got a chance.
Well, what do you mean no chance in hell?
Well, they're playing Alabama.
Well, we have a,
what do they see?
Is
it a 12 and a 5?
13 and a 4.
Oh, big D.
But
has there been a 13 upset of 4? Of course there has.
Of course, absolutely. What do you think?
I'm just saying it just increased their odds.
I don't forget. Alabama's a good team. Somebody else will put that 16 in.
Speaking of Hollywood and people who should keep their mouths shut, believe it or not, Gene Simmons actually stood up and said celebrities like Mark Ruffalo and Ben Stiller need to shut their mouths when it comes to talking about politics. He made this call on TMZ. Cut number 11. Check this out. Cut 11. Gene Simmons from KISS.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of people are kind of, criticizing Trump, like Hollywood right now, over this war thing. Is that fair?
Yeah, because everybody in the world should listen to what actors and comedians say because they're so qualified. Basically, shut the f*** up. Do your art and shut up. Nobody's interested in your opinions. That includes me, who I vote for, who I like. Who the f*** do you think you are? People in America work hard for their living, and they don't want to be lectured to by people who live in mansions and drive Rolls Royces. It's time for everybody in the entertainment industry to shut their pie hole and just Do your art. Nobody cares what you think.
Exactly.
There you go. Speaking of Ricky Gervais.
He told them to kiss off.
And it's interesting coming from Gene Simmons because he's the same guy, you might remember a few years back, who had this to say if you thought about, well, you know what, you had questions about a certain vaccine, cut number 12. Check this out.
Get over yourself. We're not concerned if you agree with it or not. We're concerned about you making us sick. So get your COVID shot
a good point.
and prevent other people from getting your stuff.
Yeah, he also went on to say you don't have as many rights as you think. So maybe Gene Simmons needs to, maybe step back and avoid these types of conversations because he didn't really have a lot to stand on.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, Damon, because tax time is coming up, here is a friendly tax time reminder from Boss Up Taxes. They just released this to help everybody get into the mood.
I'm sorry. What is this now?
It's a tax time reminder.
Okay, taxes are coming up in
taxes
April.
Are coming up next month.
Yep.
And
so who is this?
This is Boss Up, reminding people to make sure you file your taxes on time.
Yeah, good idea.
Cut number 10.
These are usually very classy, very formal kind of ads.
Yes, check this out.
Come and file your taxes. Come and file your taxes. You know you want that cash advance. You want that cash advance. You better file. Hey. File. Hey. Come to Boss Store.
Tax amnesty.
We gonna make sure you get that max refund. You got a couple kids and you a single baby mom. Don't worry about it, little girl. That's my job.
Yeah.
The girl in the back, she must have filed an extension with that hairdo.
Come and buy your taxes. You know you want that cash advance.
Come on.
You want that cash advance. You better file.
Yeah, that's an extension, all right.
File.
As always, we salute our military, active and active firefighters.
Easy rock.
First responders. Thanks everybody on the show. Aaron Friend, great job as always. Most of all, thank you to Live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. right here live from Studio 6B. Go do your brackets.
File your taxes.
Brackets, baby, come on.
Put us back up on the app for a sec.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Come on, Harry, going to go out for St. Patrick's Day? Pre-game a little?
Let's see who sticks around.
Come and file your
Oh, the parade is Sunday, Harry.
File a claim.
Call 1-800-871-7603 now.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shop. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.